So today I'm going to talk about how you can be the master of execution. So why I'm talking about it? Because recently I failed in one of my attempts of executing one of the strategy. And I was wondering, why did we fail? And then fortunately I came across this book called Four Discipline of Execution. And that book is written about 10 years back, but it is spot on. It was telling me exactly why I failed in my execution. And all the four things is mentioned there. I can see that if I would have paid attention to all those four things, I wouldn't have failed. So here are a couple of things I learned from that book. Now, an execution fail because of many things. It can be lack of commitment, inattention to result, accountability, clarity of goal, lack of trust, etc. Basically, all the traits a dysfunctional team can have. Any of the reason can make your execution fail. But imagine even if you have taken care of all these things and you have a good performing team and still your execution may fail. You may fail in your execution. And one of the biggest reason is your job. You fail in execution because of your day job. So the author called this phenomena of your busyness in your day job called whirlwind. So what happened when you walk inside the office every morning? You just get sucked up in the whirlwind of doing all the work you have to do to keep the lights on. So the things don't fall apart. You are so busy keeping everything going, churning as planned, that you don't have time or focus or attention to do anything new. So that whirlwind has to be reduced if you want to do a proper execution of a new idea or of a new strategy. So that's an important thing to remember, because we keep giving this new task to people who are already overloaded. And then obviously nothing happens. Whenever you start a new initiative, you have to take things out of people's plate. So what are the four things which you have to do to become expert in execution? So number one, the first thing is you have to define your most important goal. And here the important thing is it has to be only one goal. You cannot have 15 goals. You have to choose one goal, the one most important goal. You have to define that. And then you have to define the start line also for that goal, where you're starting from. So you should have all the KPIs about it, so you know your current state. And then you define the end line, how the end line will look. Again, you have to have all the KPIs. So when you reach there, you know that we are at the end line. So those two things has to be very clearly defined, your start line and your end line. And the third important thing is you have to have an end date for that goal. Because without end date, you may not know what is the velocity you need to have to reach to that goal. So three things: you have to define the start line, end line, and the end date. And then after defining your most important goal, you have to go and check everyone's plate and take the things out. You have to reduce the whirlwind on everyone's plate. And then you give them this new goal. And then the second thing is that you will act on the lead measures. So there are two kinds of measures: lead measure and lag measures. So what are lag measures are? Lag measures are like your revenue, your profit, market share, your cholesterol and your blood pressure reading, the sugar in your blood, the weight. All these are lag measures. The WHI, the Work Health Index score, right? Because by the time you get these numbers, the lag measures, things are already done. Everything is in history. You cannot do much. But we worry most about the lag measures. What's my revenue? What's my profit? All that. So you have to shift your focus not on the lag measure, but on the lead measures. So lead measures are the measures which you have things in your control. Your team can do something about it. So that's the lead measures. For example, if you want to have a healthy body and a healthy lifestyle, you have to focus not on what's my weight or what is my cholesterol number, but you have to focus on what I'm eating. Am I going to the gym every day? How much workout I am doing? So because these things are in your hand and you focus on those things, so focus on the lead measures. in office setting, you have to make sure that you have a proper process. My code quality is going in is good, right? So there will be no bugs in later on. So the quality of the code product will be better. So you're focusing on the lead measures. That's second thing. And then keep a compelling scorecard. Now, the highest level of performance comes from people who are emotionally engaged, and they need to know the score. Like, where are you in your journey? That scorecard can be big screen, showing the current score all the time in your hallways, in your office. There's a report coming maybe weekly or so. So people have to have a very clear scorecard, and everybody should have one view of that scorecard. So people should know where are they. And the last thing is the cadence. Because if you don't have a proper cadence, where you are meeting with the team maybe weekly or once in 2 weeks or monthly, it has to be there. The cadence has to be there, because that brings all the discipline together. So you have to have cadence to measure your progress every week or every month. If you have a very compelling scorecard, so these cadence meetings can be very short, but everybody will march in one direction and people will know where they are and they will act accordingly. So these are the 4 things you can do to be a master of execution. I will repeat again. The 4 things are: number 1, have a most important goal defined. And that goal should have a start line, finish line, and the finish date. Important thing, don't forget, you have to reduce the whirlwind from everyone's plate. Number 2 is you will act on the lead measures and not focus on the lag measures. Of course, it's there, but what you can do is you focus on that. Focus on the lead measure. Number 3, have a compelling scorecard. Everybody understand the scorecard. Everybody see the scorecard. So that's one of the important things, because the highest level of engagement will come from knowing the score. And the last thing is that you should have a cadence around it, and you should meet regularly to talk about it. So these are the 4 things we have to focus on to be successful in your execution. It's very simple 4 things. Of course, it's difficult and practical to implement all those things. But once you know these 4 things, I hope you will be a much better executor than what you were before. So let me have your comments. Send me your feedback, how we can improve on. And if you have any more ideas, share it with me. And I'll be more than happy to even talk to you, and you can come on this channel. Thank you again for your time.